Good evening. Can please someone respond that if my voice is clear?
Ya, boleh dengar.
Okay, thank you. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and very good evening. First of all, thank you everyone for joining us in the webinar for the second series. I am Dr. Muhammad Saufi. Actually, I'm just replaced my friend Dr. Muhammad Afiq as the moderator for tonight's event. Tonight, we are honored to have with us an esteemed expert in epidemiology and statistics, Professor Dr. Kamarul Imran Musa, or famously known as Professor Kim, from School of Medical Sciences, University of Sains, Malaysia. Prof. Kim will be sharing with us tonight his expertise on how GitHub Copilot can help us write our code more efficiently and productively. As we all know, AI is becoming a crucial part of our data analysis and research. Therefore, this session will be a great opportunity for us to explore how AI can enhance our coding and also our data workflow in RStudio. Before we begin, I want to extend my appreciation to our organizer, the Malaysian Disease Modeling Expert Group, and the Digital Health Science Unit from USM, as well as our supporters, Persatuan Anggota Kesihatan Kelantan, PIK, and Malaysian Association Epidemiology for making this event possible. To make this session more interactive, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box or can unmute yourself, ask directly to our speaker tonight. We will address the Q&A session, if possible, later at the end of the session. Without further ado, I am pleased and excited to invite Professor Kim to begin his presentation tonight. Prof, the floor is yours.
Right, okay. Assalamualaikum and good evening to everyone. Thank you, Dr. Saufi, for moderating tonight. Dr. Afiq should be moderating, but due to unforeseen circumstances, Dr. Saufi is replacing Dr. Afiq. So I'm very happy to be here tonight. I'm going to share my presentation very soon. Just give me a second, yeah? All right, so Dr. Saufi, can you see my slides?
Slide is clear, Prof.
All right, okay, so this is the slide, yeah? Okay, good. Right, thank you, Dr. Saufi, again. So, right, let me check the timing. So I will try to be within the time limit, which is 30 minutes and maybe 10 minutes for Q&A, all right? So, if I look a bit slow, then, Safi can, can remind me to be a bit more quicker. Right. So the title for tonight's presentation is Using GitHub Copilot in RStudio. But I add additional subtitle, GitHub Copilot, then Ellmer, and gptstudio. So, so we'll see what will happen during our presentation tonight, yeah? So, but again, the title for tonight's presentation is Using GitHub Copilot in RStudio. Right. So a little bit about myself, like Safi mentioned, people call me Kim. I'm a public health medicine consultant, also professor in epidemiology and statistics. I'm also fellow of the American College of Epidemiology. My interest is in disease modeling using epidemiology and statistics and AI. You can see the picture there. It was taken in 2006. 2006, okay? When was it? 18 years ago, right? So 18 years ago. So this was the third national advanced statistical methods that we conduct. So that time I was uh, the the chairman for the workshop. So you can see that this is on the left side with white shirt is Dr. Tan Win. He was from John Hopkins. He did the RPH at John Hopkins. He came back. He's from Myanmar, and then he came to the School of Medical Sciences, and he introduced Stata. I think the first time Stata in Malaysia. All right. And then beside him, Prof. Syed Atim now is in UNISA, and Prof. Zul, and then our ex-dean, Prof. Aziz Barber, I think now as an IMU. And beside him, I'm wearing the black jacket there. And beside me is Professor Ling Nain or Professor Ayub Sadiq, now at Brunei University of Brunei Darussalam. So basically, these three people, Dr. Tanwin, Prof. Saatim, and Prof. Ayub, are basically three people who actually have had huge influence on me, and pushing me to do to learn more about epidemiology and about statistical modeling. So yeah, that was 2006, and I think we were the only center that provide an advanced statistical methodology workshop in Malaysia. So you can look. That's the link there, which I'll put on the slides later on our YouTube channel. My Scopus link, and my personal website at myanalytics.com.my, and I also have my YouTube channel. So if you like to see more videos, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. So I have now around 97,000 citations with 183 papers on Scopus, and this is my second book, which I have co-written with a co-author with Dr. Wan Nur Arifin and Dr. Tengku Hanis, Data Analysis in Medicine and Health Using R, which was published by CRC Press, which is a world-leading publishing company for med and stat books. All right. So again, I want to be as fast as possible. The first thing I want to ask everyone, or maybe ask ourselves, why we want to use large language models for data analysis, right? So I think everybody in this session knows about LLM or large language model, ChatGPT, Claude, what else? Now I think the latest two are Quen and DeepSeek, right? Why we use those large language model for data analysis? Because when we use LLM, we can have like interactive learning. Before this, when we use R or Stata or even SPSS, it is very passive. Like you write your code, and then if you can't find the answer, you look at Google, right? If you are a little bit more advanced, then you might find helps from Stack Overflow. But it is very passive. Now with LLM, you can have sort of like a two-way communication with someone else, AI, that is like communicating with you, working together to learn and to develop skill in data analysis. Secondly, LLM can help with code translations. Basically, it can convert between different R styles because you might familiar with only one style of writing R code, for example, right? Or maybe Python code. But with LLM, it can provide a new a new what we call a new pathway, a new workflow that you can try on. Error diagnosis. If you find errors, again, before this, you have to resort to Google, and then you have to like scroll and scroll and scroll. And now you have LLM to help you with error diagnosis. And best practices to learn idiomatic R coding patterns and data analysis workflow, LLM can also help you with that. Code generation and problem solving. LLM can help you with data cleaning patterns. It can generate codes for you to, handle missing data. It can do a data validation check. For example, you run your model and you provide the results to LLM. It can, measure how valid your model is, and then standardized variable names, so on and so forth. Also, it can generate R Markdown, auto templates. It can create clear code commands and write function documentations. So all this we have done before, but very passively. You do on your own. If you have problems, you go to Google. Now LLM can help you with all these thing or challenges that you face every time you do data analysis. So basically, LLM should be should make you work faster, right? Should make you more efficient at data analysis, and should give you less stress when you deal with your data. And at the end, you should be more productive, right? So that's basically the objective of using LLM, all right? So later we will see whether, GitHub Copilot can help you with all this, making sure that you are faster at analysis, more efficient at analysis. You have less stress when you do analysis, and you are more productive. So let's go first to GitHub Copilot. You know GitHub, I think most of you have a GitHub account. So to use GitHub Copilot, you have to have a GitHub account, all right? So GitHub Copilot is an AI pair programmer. It means that you are writing your code and there is GitHub Copilot who is now pairing with you. It's not a human being, it's an AI. So an AI pair programmer, alongside with you, helping with your code completion. So the main function or the main use of GitHub Copilot is real-time code suggestion, all right? Real-time code suggestion. You'll see later how this GitHub Copilot differ from, ChatGPT or Claude or Quen or DeepSeek, all right? So it is a real-time code suggestions, and it's also a code completion, all right? It is powered by large language models trained on public code repositories. So you have the options of using ChatGPT or Claude for GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot is not itself an LLM, but it's sort of like bring in LLM, Claude or ChatGPT to help you with. And the good thing now is that GitHub Copilot is free. Before this, you have to pay if you want to use GitHub Copilot, but now it is free. And another good thing is that you can use GitHub Copilot with RStudio. So if you are using RStudio, you now have an AI-powered code completion. Okay, code completion, very important term there, that integrates directly into your IDE. It can act as a real-time pair programmer. It means that as if someone is helping you with your coding and suggesting codes that you need to type, right? For example, you type dplyr something ggplot, and then your friend GitHub Copilot will tell you, okay, after this, you need to put this, you need to put this. So basically that is code completion. It is available in RStudio version 2023.09.0 and later. And then it has been trained on billions of lines of public code. Very, very focused on code. Code. And use context from your comments, code, and open files to generate suggestion. Right. So to use GitHub Copilot, these are the prerequisites. Number one, you have to have GitHub account, right? Number two, you have to have RStudio. And number three, you have to have internet connection. So all these three must be present when you want to take advantage of GitHub Copilot in RStudio. So I've got my GitHub account here. And if you look at the, there's a button, GitHub Copilot. So it tells you what kind of options that you can choose in GitHub Copilot. Then you need to have RStudio. I have mine, which is version 2024.12.0. And then you have to have what we call internet connection. So, okay, now you have that. You have GitHub Copilot, you have RStudio, you have internet connection. What's next? Next is we need to set up the API to GitHub Copilot. It means that we have to make sure that our RStudio now can communicate with Copilot. And then we will run our codes in R, and then we will see how GitHub Copilot do the code completion, right? That's what we are going to do next. All right. So if you open your RStudio, okay, and you can do this later. We will share this, webinar on our YouTube channel. You can go to your Copilot, all right, Copilot there, and then okay, I'll run this. This is a video. I'm not sure if you can see this clearly, but we'll see. Right. You click Copilot, and then you click install. Then GitHub will, get installed. Then you need to enable GitHub Copilot. You need to sign in, right? You need to copy this verification code, go to GitHub, and then choose, your GitHub account, paste the verification code, continue, authorize GitHub Copilot so that it can communicate with your RStudio. Okay, now you have your RStudio connected with GitHub Copilot, right? So you see that GitHub Copilot, you are already signed in into GitHub Copilot, right? So when you open your, you need to close your RStudio, then you have to open your RStudio back, right? Takes a little bit of time here. Right. Then you see a completion Copilot, something there. The Copilot no completion is available. It means that now you have Copilot running in your RStudio. Right. So I'll skip this. So that's what you need, right? So you need to have GitHub. Second, you need to have RStudio version 23 and above, and then you have to have the internet connection. So you need to make sure that you connect your RStudio with GitHub. Remember the verification code. Remember to click sign in your RStudio, and then it's just very easy. Very easy. So next, okay, still go here. Right. So now, once you got that done, I'm gonna share with you how to use GitHub Copilot in RStudio. So I need to stop the my PowerPoint. right? Right, so let's see where I need to share screen number 2. Okay, right. So can you see my RStudio? Anybody can confirm?
Can, Prof? We can see.
All right, okay. So now you have okay, you open for example any R script, okay? Right. Then we type, and you see there Copilot no completion available, right? Okay, it's very small. Let's see if I can make this bigger. This one Copilot no completion available. Let's see. I'll type. Okay, I want to load tidyverse package. Load tidyverse package, and then you see it. Something comes out, right? Library tidyverse with italic, right? And then you see here Copilot completion response received. It means that this doesn't come from my R, but it comes from GitHub Copilot. So if I say, okay, I want to accept this, all right, I just press the tab keyboard on your keyboard, the tab button or the tab key. You just press it. That will, change from italic to the codes that we want to use, and then I just run it, right? Then I say, okay, now load empty cast data. Then something come out, data empty cast. All right. Right. So then you see empty cast here. And then you see something else there, head of empty cast. So it sort of suggests to you what you should type next. Right. And then what else I can do? Let's say I want to do some ggplot. Ggplot to okay, you see it come up with something, right? ggplot2 data empty cast. Let's say I want to accept this. I just press that. Then I just run it. There is no function because I have not run tidyverse yet. Okay. ggplot2, what happened here? Do I need library ggplot2? Maybe. Nope. What happened? Yes. This is what we call as hallucination, right? Because it puts ggplot2 here. It is not ggplot, So so be careful. Sometimes it could hallucinate. All right, it could hallucinate. All right. But the thing is that this thing, if I want to say, if I want to ask, okay, make a linear regression model, interpret the model. Let's see what will happen. Okay. Control enter. Summary. Okay. Right. It provides result, but it does not interpret like what you want it to interpret like. For example, if we use ChatGPT or Claude, it will tell you, okay, this is something, right? This is a very crude code-centric assistant. So it's very good at code completion, but beyond that, it's quite lousy. So now I'll go back to my presentation. So I stop there. I will go back to my PowerPoint. PowerPoint, all right. Okay, let's see. All right. So the thing is that if you use my GitHub Copilot, it's a little bit sluggish. It's very good at code completion, but still sluggish. You know, you sort of like you have to know what you want to do. Then it can only help you. If you don't know what you want to do, what sort of codes that you want to run, it can't help you a lot. It's a bit messy and a bit cerewet lah kalau a typical non-programmer R user, especially a very new, very novice R user, because you want to start with something, but you don't know how to start with. And GitHub Copilot cannot help you with that. It's very good at code completions, but lousy at helping you if you are a beginner. So that's the reason why I think you might want to look at two other packages. One is Ellmer, ELLMER, and the other one is gptstudio. Unfortunately, for both of them, you need to pay for the API, right? You need to pay for the API, but it used to be a bit expensive if you use ChatGPT or Claude. But very recently we have DeepSeek, which is very, 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 very cheap. Unfortunately, now the API is down. I've been trying to get the API working for the past 5 days. It did not work. But fortunately, you have another option, which is Qwen, QWEN, by Alibaba. Right. It's just launched, I think 3 days ago. So we can use Ellmer and GPT Studio so that we can call ChatGPT or Claude or Qwen or DeepSeek or any other LLM model into RStudio. But you have to have the API. So I don't use ChatGPT. I use Claude by Anthropic. So I got my API keys. I also I just recently 2 days ago I tried Qwen. So I got my API key on Alibaba Cloud Model Studio, right, which is very, very cheap. So now let's go to Ellmer package. Ellmer is a package that can help you to chat with large language model, right? So if you use Ellmer, you can call ChatGPT, you can call Claude, you can call Qwen, Gemini, DeepSeek, Azure, even Grok, Olama, Perplexity into your RStudio. So it means now you don't have to work on ChatGPT on different. Sometimes you have to, you go to your ChatGPT, right? Or you go to your cloud and then you type your questions or your issues, then you copy and paste into R, right? But now you don't have to do that because you can use Ellmer and then you can sort of tarik Claude Qwen into your RStudio. Okay, right. And GPT Studio can also work. In fact, GPT Studio is easier because it has add-ins. So you can click on GPT Studio. So you will see on your right side in your RStudio, there is a sort of like a chat box that you can communicate with your model, whether you are using Claude or whether you are using ChatGPT or whether you are using Qwen. Right. So again, you need to have API. I suggest that you go for Qwen, QWEN, because it's much, much cheaper. Right. And then you need to save the API key into a file we call as .renvironment file. Okay, you need to save this key. Don't share with people because people can use this key to access your what we call your system. Right. So now let's go to a quick demo on for Ellmer. Okay, so I need to again stop this sharing PowerPoint, and I'm gonna share my RStudio again. Right, let's close this. Don't save. Right. So I've got first I need to install Ellmer and gptstudio, and you don't have to use both. Okay, you can use either one. Okay, for example, but because I want to show or demonstrate to you both of them, then I will load both of the packages. I'll make sure I clear all these objects. So library Ellmer, okay, you can see here Ellmer. Okay, then GPT Studio, and now this is how I call Claude into R. Okay, I use the function chat underscore Claude. This is to call API for the Atrophy or Claude. Okay, and then I got the Atrophy API key in the system environment, right? And for that, you have to use this. Okay. So let's run this. Okay. And then, and I ask, now I ask R, okay, tell me 3 jokes about statistician, right? Then it takes a little bit of time and then it tells you, okay, how do you tell the difference between an introverted statistician and an extroverted statistician? The extroverted statistician looks at your shoes while talking to you. Okay, I don't know whether it's funny or not, but it doesn't matter. What we want to make sure is that it works, right? So now we are, instead of going outside of RStudio to Claude or to ChatGPT, now you can use them inside R. Okay, I can also check my token. And then next, what I'm gonna tell Claude is that, okay, I'm a junior epidemiologist. You are my assistant. Load empty cars data, run linear regression using empty cars data with MPG as the dependent variable. All right. So I'm gonna run this, and then it will run the codes below. Right. So what you can do is you can, copy this and then, paste to maybe your QMD or a Quarto document or into any other R codes. Okay. So this one, I just want to demonstrate that it works. Okay, it works. Now I want to use Quen by Alibaba, which was launched only 3 days ago, but already show a remarkable performance. I think better than ChatGPT or better than Claude. All right. So chat Quen, and then again I make sure that base URL is dashcode blah 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 dashcode API key. So I need to specify this to make sure that my RStudio connect with Quen API. And then now I'm going to use chat Quen to tell me 3 jokes about statistician. Right. And if you see here, I think the output, if you compare between Quen and Claude, I think I like a little bit Quen outputs, right? And let's rerun the same analysis. I'm a junior epidemiologist. You are my assistant. Load empty data, empty cast data, run linear regression using empty cast and with MPG as the dependent variable. Okay, let's see whether Quen give us a better code compared to Claude. So you can see the output from Quen is more elaborate, more detailed, and I think in something that I prefer compared to Claude. It even give interpretation. The intercept 37.28 represent the predicted MPG, blah blah blah. So final note, you can adjust the predictor in the model based on research question or hypothesis, blah blah blah. So I think maybe moving forward, I will use Quen rather than Claude, because I'm paying a lot more for Claude compared to Quen. Quen is very cheap, right? I can even use DeepSeek, but the problem now is that DeepSeek, you can't access the API because of malicious attack on their system. So no, you can't use DeepSeek for at the moment. But I think Quen is looking very, very promising. Okay, so what? So if I'm going to use my data, if I'm going to use LLM for my data analysis, what I am going to do? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a workflow. Okay, for example, this one. I want to create a quarto markdown document. Okay, a quarto document, not quarto markdown document, but quarto document. So I'll tell chat. For this example, I'm using chat Claude. Okay, create YAML for quarto document in R. Set the title as my chicken weight analysis. So I just run it. So this gives me a YAML. Can copy and then I can create new file, R script. Right. So so I got my YAML there. And then I ask Claude, read chicken weight data in R and run regression, name the model as model chick. Run that. Right. Then I got this. Sorry, the mouse is a little bit tricky here. Copy, and then I go to this. Where is it? Okay, this one. At the same time, you can see that the Copilot is also working at the same time. So you have Copilot helping with you with your code completions, and Claude for this to help you with a more complicated or interpretation work in your data analysis. So you can, maybe next you see, okay, do model assessment, show relevant plots. Okay, we can do this as well and see what will tell you. Okay. Then I can copy this. Right. So, right. And then lastly, I think what I like Claude to do is, okay, edit my YAML to make it more beautiful documents. For example, if I run this, okay, if I save this one as QMD, test .qmd or file and save it. Right, and then I render this. Okay, something is not right here. Team there was. Okay, let's see whether it works or not. I don't think so because something. Right. Okay, and then you have to make sure that this is curly braces. Right, and let's try and render this again. Okay, this thing, okay, format doesn't look right. So, format HTML. Okay, let's wait. Right. So which is, a very boring one, right? This is very plain. So then I asked Claude to say, can you edit my YAML, make the quarter document a beautiful document, maybe use the theme as flatly, right? So I run this. And then what I can do is I can take this YAML, right? And I'm gonna replace this. Okay, let's see if it works now. At the same time, Copilot is also helping us with code completion. Let's run this. So you have, you have a better output. You can even show all codes. You can, hide all codes. You can,
Prof,
show.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Is the quarto generated because we cannot see the quarto?
Oh, you can see the quarter. Okay, sorry.
I think you shared
Okay.
you share the
Because I'm sharing the
studio.
RStudio. Yes, I'm sharing the
Yes.
RStudio. So okay, I should be sharing the what we call the screen,
Windows.
right? Okay, never mind. You can try this. Or maybe what I can do. Okay, never mind. You can try this, but I want to show you that that will be my workflow. Okay, because I think for all data analysts, I think yes, you have to know your codes, but before that, or equally important, is to make sure that you have a very clear workflow, right? So, okay, that's complete the demonstration for Ellmer. Very quickly, I'm going to show you the GPT Studio chat. Okay, I'm just going to run this GPT Studio chat. Right, and it's run. Okay, it's almost 40 minutes. I'm running out of time. Okay, let's see. GPT Studio is still running because it's trying to load the shiny packages. Okay, let's see, where is it? Okay, does not come out. Okay, never mind. We go and we stop this one first. We go to tools, add-ins, browse add-in, and go to GPT. Let's say we go to GPT Studio, this one, execute. Nope, it doesn't work right. Does not come out. Okay, because I've got this thing running preview. Okay, no wonder. Okay, let me run this again. Okay. Nope, that's not come out right. Okay. Let's see if I got this. Right. Nope. This is one thing that I a little bit dislike about GPT Studio. Most of the time it will run, but sometimes it does not run. Okay. So let me try GPT Studio again. Chat. Right. Nope. That's not what to come out. Okay, never mind. So okay, let's go back to my presentation. Right. Okay. So I've shown you how we can use Ellmer. I tried to show you how to use GPT Studio, but did not work. You can try on your own. It's very simple. You don't have to code But again, you need to make sure that you have the API, then it only works, all right? I think if you want to use LLM, large language model, whether it's ChatGPT or whether it is Claude, whether it's Quen, DeepSeek, we see how it goes with DeepSeek, but these three or any other LLM, I think you need to start with clear specific prompts. Always verify generated code. For example, just now when I run the GitHub Copilot, it asked me to use ggplot2, but there is no such function ggplot2, so it hallucinates a bit, right? And then use as a learning tool, not just a solution generator. There's different LLM have different capability. So at the moment, I think I've only tried Quen for the past 2 days. I think I'm very happy with Quen. I might be now be using Quen rather than Claude. Use GitHub Copilot because it is very good at code completion. And you can use ChatGPT, Claude, or Quen for explanations. And for example, also you can use Claude if you need more technical documentation. But now I think ChatGPT or Claude, I think I will pass both of them. I think now I would try and use Quen because I think it looks very, very promising. So again, when you have your data task in hand, your question is, the question now is, whether you want to do code writing only or you want to understand. If you want to do a good code writing, then use GitHub Copilot. If you want to understand your data analysis, to to interpret your results, to help or to ask LLM to help you with data interpretation, then you use LLM such as ChatGPT, Claude, Quen, and DeepSeek. For me, I think use both GitHub Copilot and either one of these, ChatGPT, Claude, Quen, or DeepSeek. I think now at the moment, I highly recommend you to use Quen. So now, I think, I think for closing, a bit of hassle because all this LLM thingy are very new to even to R. So it's a little bit of hassle, but I think LLM soon will influence how your workflow and coding in R and maybe on other IDE, even for Python. And sadly, you need to pay for API. It is very, very cheap. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, again, from my YouTube channel, so that I can, make a more video. You can email me for questions. I also want to take this opportunity to, encourage you to join PIK, Persatuan Anggota Kesihatan Kelantan, and also Malaysian Association of Epidemiology, MAE. I also would like to acknowledge all the people here, Safi, Yazlino, Alia, Hadri, and everybody who has been helping us with this webinar. So I pass back to Safi. Safi.
Thank you, Prof. Kim, for very insightful and exciting presentation just now. So far, we have a feedback from Dr. Wana Arifin. Agree with Prof. Kim. So far, of our local LLMs, the Quen is the best for coding. And Nazrul said, I think this is it Kamuni? I'm not familiar. ChatGPT is updating their server to O3 High Mini. Looks very promising on data analysis. So from the other audience, is there any questions for our speaker? Can drop in the chat or either unmute yourself.
Yeah, I think I agree with Dr. Wano Arife. If you have resources, you might as well, download the model and use local what we call local LLM. So so because Quen is, I think, is also open source. Open source called Quen. I'm not sure. And ChatGPT O3 High Mini, okay, have not tried it. Okay.
It's just new, Prof. Kim, the model O3 High Mini, just recent.
Sorry?
The ChatGPT model O3. Is it very
right.
I think within this week, if not mistaken.
Yeah.
So as I assume there's no more question. I just share a bit for the purpose of this webinar tonight. I just happened to view the channel Prof Kim about the GitHub Copilot. Then it was suggested in our team to share more insight about this. Previously, the data analysis, personally myself, I use more to ChatGPT for the exploration to brainstorm how to coding works. And now, it just occurred to me, oh, we can use more LLM models such as Quen. I just know it just tonight, Quen. I just recently exploring the DeepSeek. Thanks again, we have just had a very excellent presentation from Prof. Kim, and I assume there is no more feedback or questions from the audience. Before we officially conclude, Prof. Kim, is there any closing you want to say?
No, no more. Dah closing the
No
day.
more.
So thank you very much
Okay.
to all of you,
Okay,
and
thank
thank you,
you.
Safi.
All right.
Give it a shot.
All right. So before we officially conclude, I would like to again to take this opportunity to express our gratitude to Professor Kim for the time and also the expertise. The insight has truly enriched our understanding and usage of AI in our coding and data analysis. Again, thank you for all the participants for your engagement and participation. We really hope this session has given you new ideas and another practical way on how we can apply this AI tool in our work and research. Again, I would like to remind everyone we have an attendance question attendance form in the chat box. Please feel free to complete it because we have MMA as CPD. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you all in the future webinars. Have a great night. Stay safe. Okay, Assalamualaikum and good evening.
Salam.